since 1991, there's been a 33% drop in cancer deaths in the U.S., but certain cancers are on the rise. Colon cancer is now the leading cause of cancer deaths among people under 50. Prostate and breast cancer are once again the leading cancer diagnoses in males and females, respectively. For more news with a Catholic perspective, visit EWTNnews.com. Take Two with Jerry and Debbie starts now.
Well, we hope it's Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. This is your show. I'm Debbie Georgiani with Jerry Usher, and always for 8.5+ years, you show up strong with your lived experience, your wisdom, your knowledge, and you take it away. The Take Two family is awesome. We love you so very, very much, and we're asking the question today, Jerry, do you like to take pictures of yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Selfies,
yeah.
The selfie craze, right?
Yeah, we want to hear what your philosophy is on this. Take Two family. Do you love? Do you go places? Do you want to have those memories to savor that you take selfies while you're there? Maybe have other people take pictures of you. Maybe when you're out with your best friends, you'd like to take some selfies. Do you like to take pictures of yourself, or do you kind of stay out of the pictures and take pictures of other people? Which is your preference on this? 833-288-EWTN. That's 833-288-3986.
Okay, so the selfie craze, I'm going to tell you a funny story that happened between Marty and me. It was pretty hilarious, actually. And he accused me. I'm just going to tell you right up front, Jerry. Marty, my husband, who you always say is so nice and so kind and so loving. Yes, he is. He really is. He accused me of being self-absorbed because he caught me one day taking a selfie of myself. But the truth of it, there's a backstory to it. And I don't know if this has ever happened to anybody else, okay? I'm just being honest. We all talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? I like to eat broccoli, okay? What happens to broccoli in your teeth? Come on, be honest.
Well,
okay?
Yeah.
You can have broccoli in your teeth, right? Okay. Yeah. It just happens. And I did not have a mirror. I wasn't near a mirror. And I had to do some talking. And I didn't want to have green broccoli in my teeth like the old I Love Lucy show. Mm-hmm. So I took a selfie, and my husband accused me of being, I don't know, self-absorbed, egotistical, all the words, the narcissistic, all those words. I said, that's not true. I thought I had broccoli in my teeth. I'm being honest. So sometimes we can think that people are a bit egocentric, right? But they're not. They're really trying to do the practical thing.
Well, let's talk about that. What is your general thoughts on taking selfies? You got these selfie sticks. You got the cameras that go, both ways. Different. I mean, they come out with these cameras. Some of the new technology has just really improved cameras and multiple cameras and things like that. So weigh in on this topic today. Do you like to take pictures of yourself, or do you just prefer to be the one taking the pictures of other people? 833-288-3986. And maybe you do take selfies and you've got just one or a few that they just came out perfectly. Those money shots they talk about. Maybe you managed to get some with famous people at famous places on vacations with your family, your friends. 833-288-3986.
Okay, Take Two family, we just bragged about you, so you need to show up strong. You can't leave us here all alone talking about selfies, so we need to hear from you. Are you sick of them? Do you not like taking them? Do you have too many of them on your phone? You don't know what to do anymore because you took the lessons on, did you know that? There's lessons online on how to take a proper selfie.
I believe it. Yeah, sure.
I tried it.
Did you?
It didn't work. It was really obnoxious. I mean, I just couldn't do it. But maybe you mastered it and you're really good at it and you don't even want to hand your phone or camera to anybody else. You can do it yourself. We're talking about, do you like to take pictures of yourself? This is an important topic. You'll see how it weaves into our spirituality. We need your help. Don't sit this out. You don't have to be Catholic to call in. Come on, you guys, pick up the phone, start dialing 833-288-3986.
I've got a little bit of a joke I can weave in here.
Is okay.
Oh, it's clean. Oh, we got our clean joke show coming up too, don't we? Pretty soon.
Yeah, I think we do.
Yeah, actually, it's coming up very soon.
I don't think you've ever taken a selfie, ever. I don't think I've ever seen you take a selfie of yourself.
I have a little bit, yeah.
You have?
Well, actually, yeah, some people wanted to see me in my Diocese of Orlando shirt, so I took a selfie of that. But
oh, well, that's kind
But
of.
here's the joke.
Okay.
You may or may not get it. Men's basketball college fans will get this. Every picture, not just of himself, but every picture the Kansas men's basketball coach takes is a selfie. Because his name is Bill Self. So every picture he takes is a selfie. See?
That was real. Did you make that up?
I did, yeah. I take the blame for that, yes.
I am very impressed. You made up your own original joke. That was great. No, but what do you, I mean, seriously, Jerry, we talk about all the different angles of this. What do you really think about the selfie craze? I mean, honestly.
I think it's okay. You know, I just am one who has not really gotten on board totally yet because, I don't know, maybe I just don't think to do it. If we were talking about Dookies, like pictures of my dog Duke, then I would say I probably got hundreds of those. But yeah, I don't have any particular reason for not having a lot of selfies. I'm not opposed to it. In fact, I think when you think about it, it's a pretty ingenious technological development, because for years and decades, you'd have to hand your camera to somebody and say, will you take a picture of us?
Yeah,
now you don't have to do that. You can kind
Yes.
of do it yourself, DIY.
Especially if you're a germaphobe, you don't want others touching your phone or camera. No, seriously. That always bugged me when I would ask somebody to take a picture, like in the mall or something. If you go in front of the Christmas tree and you're like, oh, can you take a picture of us? And then you hand them the phone and you're like, oh, and you have to wipe it all down, because that just kind of didn't work for me. So selfies worked in that case. But do you think it fosters narcissism or stuff like that, or being, too self-absorbed?
Yeah, I think the bottom line answer to that would be probably yes. I mean, it can. I'm not saying it does per se. I think it can. But that goes right along with everything else, especially the platforms that selfies are used on, social media platforms, web pages, things like that. I think if you combine all of it together, it is really, I think it's created an atmosphere, an environment in which people can become a little bit self-absorbed and, a little bit arrogant and narcissistic and all of that. But not the Take-Two family. Not the Take-Two family. We know you guys love to take selfies, and you put them to really good use. So talk about this topic today. We have a couple lines open, 833-288-3986. Are you into selfies? Do you like taking pictures of yourself with other people at wonderful places, maybe with your kids, maybe your grandkids? 833-288-3986. It's your show. We need you to weigh in. Here we go.
We are called to defend life from the rally to the march. EWTN Television and Radio brings you live and complete coverage of the most important pro-life event of the year. Join us for the annual March for Life in Washington, D.C. Coverage begins Friday morning, 8 Eastern on EWTN Television and Radio.
Wherever you are in the world, you can access the EWTN Global Catholic Network. It's everywhere. You can get EWTN's great Catholic programming on your car radio, at home on your TV, computer, or smart speaker. With EWTN's app, you can take EWTN everywhere on your phone or mobile device. If you want your news in print, turn to EWTN's paper of record, the National Catholic Register. EWTN, the Global Catholic Network.
Here's today's thought from Mother Angelica's perpetual calendar. Humility does not mean making oneself a doormat. Humility is to know my place before God and to be grateful and to take my place before men with lowliness. Mother's Perpetual Calendar features an inspirational message for each day of the year. It's available from the EWTN Religious Catalog at EWTNRC.com. That's EWTNRC.com.
Do you like to take pictures of yourself? That's what we're asking today on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. We do have an open phone line for you if you'd like to jump in. We're very friendly and no judgments here. We're just going to have a discussion to see if we can just walk away a little bit changed, a little bit closer to God. 833-288-3986 is the number to call. Before we get to the phones, Jerry, if I may, Standing Strong, Good Discipline Makes Great Teens by Dr. Ray Guarendi. Dr. Ray Guarendi gives parents the tools they need not only to navigate the teen years, but also to enjoy them by unpacking issues ranging from sibling relationships and peer pressure to curfews and chores to overcoming backtalk and teaching your kids to avoid drugs. He equips parents to give their teens a safer, more stable adolescence and help them develop virtues for a lifetime with practical approaches. So some of those approaches are something like 4 simple house rules that lead to success. Wow, that's really good. Standing Strong, Good Discipline Makes Great Teens by Dr. Ray Guarendi, available at EWTNRC.com. Buy Catholic, shop EWTNRC.com. And Jerry, I was just thinking as I was reading this promo that I was just thinking we should ask Dr. Ray what he thinks about selfies. What would you say Dr. Ray would say?
I don't know. I imagine he'd probably be all in favor of them, you know.
In favor of selfies?
I would think so, yeah. I don't know.
Wow. I'm going to call. I'm going to send him a text message and ask him. I'm curious to see what Dr. Ray Guarendi would say. That would be very interesting. But you know, one thing I just want to say about having a bunch of pictures on your phone, they've come in handy at times, because I had a dear friend that every time I went to go visit her, we would snap a picture, and then she died. And so I actually really treasured those pictures.
Yeah, I'll bet. No
yes,
question.
I don't regret doing those selfies.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Anyway,
I don't think we should regret it. No. Well, let's go to the phones here. See what you have to say about this. Obviously, you have a lot of takes on this because the lines are busy. 833-288-3986. Do you like taking selfies, pictures of yourself, or not? And perhaps give us a little bit of the backstory why. 833-288-3986. We're going to start in Mexico. Vladimir is a first-time caller listening on EWTN.com. Hi, Vladimir. Thanks for calling in.
Hello. Thank you for taking the call.
Sure. So go right ahead.
My comment is that, thank you, is that personally I don't like to take pictures of myself with my phone. I prefer that other people take pictures to me in other phones or even with my phone. So if you check my phone, you will find more pictures from other people or me with other people than, because I think that this is kind of narcissism. You know, like it is me and only me and nothing else than me.
Right.
No, I agree. That's what I was referring to, Vladimir, about my friend. We would have a picture taken when we would have lunch together or something like that, and those became just beautiful treasures for me because she went on to meet the Lord a little too early, I think, in her life. She was young. She was in her 50s. And I thought, wow, now I have these pictures, and I remember where we were at, and even the fettuccine Alfredo we ate. And so I agree with you. Those things can become really, great memories. What do you say, Jer?
Well, I'm like you, Vladimir. There have been times, even recently, when I've been asked for a photo of myself for some reason or another, like put on a website or something, and I literally have to, scroll through my entire photo library on my phone, and I'm lucky to find just a couple of them there. So, like I said earlier, I'm not opposed to selfies. I just don't really think about taking pictures of myself that much. But anything else you wanted to add, Vladimir?
It's just that good memories, for example, when you later in 10, 20 years, you review pictures. If I only see pictures of mine, you say, well, it's mine. only nothing than that. But if you see pictures of with other people or visiting some other places with some people, you will have good memories.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, great to have you tuned in there in Mexico
Yes.
and being a first-time caller, Vladimir. Please stay tuned, keep listening to the program, and call in anytime at 833-288-3986.
You know, Vladimir just made me think of this. I live in Arizona, and we're known for having these amazing sunsets, and Mexico does as well. And so, do you have? I have a lot of pictures of sunrises and sunsets.
Yeah,
Do you?
well, I'm on the Sunrise Coast now.
Yeah, you're on the sunrise. That's right. You're in Florida. But do you ever do that? How about the ocean? Do you ever
yeah.
take pictures of the
Oh,
ocean?
yeah. Mhm.
Oh yeah. See those of nature are so beautiful. Okay, there Vladimir just freed up a phone line from Mexico, so pick that line up. Let's go. 833-288-3986.
All right, Mark in Toledo is up next, listening on Annunciation Radio. Hi, Mark.
Hi there.
Welcome.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm not a big selfie taker because I guess I'm old-fashioned. People about 50 and over. I usually, if I'm going to take a picture, I'm taking a picture of a special event or a special place, and I usually am not afraid to ask somebody to take a picture for us. So I think that's the biggest problem when we were at the Grand Canyon. If I asked them, hey, you want me to take a picture of you? And these people were from other countries, Germany, India, Japan, and they were so grateful. Then they would say, you want us to take a picture of you and your wife? I said, yes. And I think when I take a picture, I want to see where I'm at. If you take a selfie, usually you see about 90% of the people's head and not what's going on in the backdrop. So I'm not saying selfies are bad, but I think every picture is very, very worthwhile, and it's precious. So I always say, take pictures. You got memories forever.
Yeah. Well, and obviously, you know, it's just so easy to do now. You can take a picture, you don't like it, delete it right away, it's gone forever. You know, I'm sure, Mark, I don't know how old you are. Debbie, I think Debbie's probably not old enough to remember, but I am, when you used to actually use a roll of film or the Polaroids or whatever and take the rolls of film in and get them developed and the negatives and all of that. So, yeah, Mark, you're right. I mean, we can have, billions and billions of photos in just a little amount of time, and they're always there accessible for us. But it sounds like you're a little bit more of a purist, maybe kind of a traditional approach to this, Debbie. It sounds like Mark takes.
Well, and Mark, you were talking about developing the film in a camera and stuff. I used to love those days. I have to tell you, it's become so easy to just have everything at your fingertips on your phone and in the memory card of your phone. But I used to love taking that roll of film to Walgreens and having it developed and waiting a week to get the pictures, and then you put them in an album and you sent them in a card to somebody else. I just thought that was so personal. I don't know. I know they're getting back to that now. I understand they are. You can take a picture on your phone, and then you can have it. You send it to this place, and then they'll frame it and they'll send it to you. So I don't know. What do you think about that, Mark? Going back to the old days, I miss those days.
I agree with you because you sat there, you send it in. So sometimes it took a week, and sometimes it was overnight. You can get your pictures done overnight. That wasn't quick enough, but you always wonder how's that picture going to turn out? It was really excitement. You just never knew because you only had one or two chances to take the picture, and that was it. And I think you might save like you said, now if it's a bad picture, you delete it. No big deal.
Right on.
Well,
Mark, great take. Thanks for being part of this conversation today. It's always good to hear from you. They're listening on Annunciation Radio. God bless you, Mark. 833-288-3986. Our topic today on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie and you, hint, hint. It's your show. We're talking about taking selfies, photos of yourself, photos of you with other people. Do you prefer to have other people take pictures of you? Do you prefer just to take pictures of others and kind of leave yourself out? It's a kind of a broad-ranging topic here, and you can weigh in at 833-288-3986.
But, Jerry, Mark got me thinking about this, this idea of, you take a picture, you're wondering how it's going to turn out. You take the film, get it developed, you wait. So you learn patience. You learn, just to really not be so much in a hurry, right? And not to be quick to get rid of things. And when I think about you just made the comment, if you don't like it, or Mark said you don't like it, you can delete it, right? And then that lends itself to how, don't you think that in a broader sense, how we are in society? If we don't like something, we get rid of it. We just we just toss it. It's a throwaway society. Yeah. So I mean, this is very interesting how it has changed, I think, the way our spirituality somewhat. What do you say to that? I know it might be a stretch, but everything you can relate everything pretty much to our spiritual lives.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, all things in moderation, and we want to avoid some of the traps we've talked about, like, making it all about me, and post, especially on social media. Social media has so many great uses, many great uses, but yeah. I think it's just created, sometimes it's a tempting area for people to get into, I think, just to be wanting to say, it's all about me, and here's what I had for lunch. And yeah.
Or you can find out every detail of somebody's personal life on social media. Right. Okay.
We're not dissing social media, folks. Don't worry. We use it.
We have to use it. And so you can use it for the good, or, for things that can be destructive. But that's pretty common with all things. So let's hear what Jennifer has to say in Mansfield, Ohio, also listening on Annunciation Radio. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you. My first time calling in as well.
Great.
I really treasure pictures that are from my mom and my. So we're saying about things being thrown away, when they don't turn out the way we want to. I totally agree with that. But it is kind of nice to know that we got a good picture, especially of things that I wish we had better pictures from my parents and grandparents, to be able to remember the things that were important to them.
Well, I agree with you. I'll tell you something, Jennifer. When my dad was dying in 2010, and then my mom passed in 2021, I took a ton of pictures on my phone, and video, audio, everything. And oh boy, am I so glad I did. It's amazing to hear their voice and to see them, and we would just talk about their childhood or things that they remember as kids. I had my mom speak Italian to me, so I could hear her Italian, and it was it's going to make me cry, Jennifer. I know. I mean, that's the beauty of Jerry. Have you heard this? That people have said when they've asked them if you had to get out of your house right away, what would you grab? And a lot of people said they would grab the box of pictures.
Mm-hmm. I believe that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now you just have to grab your phone, which, as you say, Debbie, all the time, is in your hand anyway, right?
True. True. But that's cool what Jennifer had to say. Aren't you, Jennifer? We're so glad you're a first-time caller. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I usually am at work. I don't always get to listen and call in, but it's a snow day here because of wind chill, so I'm enjoying listening.
Awesome.
Thank
awesome.
you.
Well, it's great to have you calling in as well. Thank you, Jennifer. 833-288 EWTN, 833-288-3986. Weigh in on this question today. It is your show. You are the ones who drive it, and everything you have to say is going to impact other listeners as well. So do join us at 833-288-3986. Your philosophy, your approach, your ideas and thoughts on taking pictures of yourself, selfies as they are called sometimes. All right, Kim is in North Carolina listening on Sirius XM 130. Hello, Kim. Thank you for waiting. Welcome.
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you for taking my call, and I want to say this is a topic that I have thought of a lot, and I'm glad y'all are doing the show. And I want to echo what Debbie said, too, about green stuff in the teeth. Mm-hmm. I get that all the time. And, if I see a picture of me, I'm like, oh, my goodness, there's a spinach, It's awful. So I do understand about the broccoli, totally. But, and the only way to know is, with your phone, really, just about unless you, I don't know. That's just a good way to do it. But
Thank you, Kim. I'll have you talk to my husband, okay?
Anyway, but I would just say really quick, I have a lot of thoughts on this, okay, but I'm going to narrow it down to something that really helped me to adjust to weight loss. I lost a ton of weight, and it really helped me. I took pictures and helped me see myself, in my new weight. So I thought it was a really good thing. But I think that, people will take it and idolize it, or I wasn't on a lot of social media, so I wasn't posting pictures of myself. But I think it can be used in a good way, too. But if you use it, overuse it, it can be kind of narcissistic maybe, but I don't know that word. I hate to use it because it gets thrown around a lot. And a true narcissist is not how a lot of people call people narcissists. But you never know why someone takes their pictures. So we have to look at that too and ask that before I make a quick judgment about someone. Yeah. They're taking so many pictures. Why are they doing that? Well, they might have, maybe they did lose someone, or maybe this is a way they're dealing with a lot of weight loss, or etc.
Hold on, Kim, hold on just a second. I'm loving your call because you have really used the pictures of yourself on your phone to improve yourself, to come to a really beautiful place. It sounds like, in terms of self-esteem and where you are physically and health-wise and stuff. And we want to maybe get into that a little bit on the other side of this break. So stay with us.
EWTN Radio is seeking a dynamic radio producer to join the EWTN radio team in Irondale, Alabama. The right candidate will be a passionate, multi-skilled, talented professional who can manage and direct all aspects of producing world-class radio broadcasts and play an integral part in Mother Angelica's mission. For all the details about this exciting opportunity, visit EWTN.com and click on Employment at the bottom of the page.
This is a Messy Family Minute with Mike and Alicia Hernon. It's easy to become a frantic family in our fast-paced world, and it can be hard to keep on being intentional about our marriage and our family life. We have seen that it's easy to forget what life is all about, isn't it? That's why we created a valuable tool called the Family Board Meeting.
The Family Board Meeting is a simple concept. Every good company has a regular board meeting to talk about strategy, goals, direction, and changes needed. Well, you and your spouse are the executive officers, the board of your family. You need to take time off, affirm each other, sketch out a vision of what you want your family to look like, and set goals to make that vision a reality.
Set aside some time to reassess and rebuild your family culture with your spouse. The beginning of the year is a great time to schedule or to have your family board meeting. What are you waiting for?
To download our free resource and listen to the podcast on this valuable tool, visit us at messyfamilyminute.org.
Pray for the protection of unborn children with a free pro-life prayer ebook to help guide you in prayer, to change the hearts of those who compromise the call to protect and defend life. Get your free ebook today at EWTN.com/profile.
Hi, this is Janet Williams. You don't have to be a woman to enjoy Women of Grace tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern here on EWTN Radio. Now, back to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
All right, what is your take on selfies? Pictures of yourself with other people, by yourself, with your favorite pet, with your friends, with the latest meal that you're enjoying at a restaurant. What do you think about selfies, taking pictures of yourself? Weigh in on this, 833-288-3986. And we were talking with Kim in North Carolina, and Debbie Kim had a beautiful take a couple of moments ago, how she really took advantage of seeing herself in the pictures and realizing she had to maybe improve her health a little bit and lose a little bit of weight, and she did that. So I think that's a wonderful testimony to how things like this can be used for very powerfully and good things.
Oh, the transformations that can happen, and you feel that encouragement, motivation, you keep going. Kim, I think you're awesome. I love that. It reminds me of so many times in my life with different journeys of just going through life at different stages. And you're right. It's good to see those photographs. It's really good to let those be the things that keep you going, and maybe even remind you. There are times even when I know that I have a friend who took pictures of themselves all through their cancer treatment, and I said I don't even want to look at mine, and she said, no, I want to look at mine because I learned so much. Going through it, and so we learn and we grow because the picture implants a memory in us, and it speaks what do they say, a picture says 1,000 words, right? Mm-hmm. Well, it's so true what these images do, and they can be used for so much good inside of us. Kim, I just love that, but I really love you that you agreed with me on the spinach and the broccoli. I appreciate that so very much. More comments on that, because I think your call is really hitting people deeply, to let them look at their own lives and how pictures play a part in their journey. Kim?
Yeah. Also, there was a time when I did lose a lot of weight, too, And people that go through that journey of losing a lot of weight have a hard time seeing themselves small or what their weight is now. And
interesting.
So it was very helpful, too, at that time to see, I'm not still fat, or I'm a normal size now, or whatever. Mm-hmm. It can be helpful, but in the minute it becomes, we all know when something starts to become an idol, usually, and when it becomes narcissistic or whatever, it's time to stop, right? Mm-hmm. It's like stopping with 1 or 2 glasses of wine, or, the list goes on. So, I don't know. I really appreciate technology. It's helped a lot of people. It can be a disadvantage, too, I know. I feel like, especially for kids that are going through changes in their minds and their spirit and their body is changing rapidly, adolescence, all that. I'm not sure if the phone would be healthy or not. I think Dr. Ray would probably really be able to tell more about that. But we didn't have phones during that time, and I'm glad. I think I probably would have been a horrible enemy to myself. And I think phones can help people take better pictures, too, because if you've never thought you were photogenic, or you always close your eyes, or your mouth is crooked, like in your smile. It's crazy, but we see these things in ourselves. And most of the time, people aren't even looking, right? Reality, they're thinking about themselves and how they look in a picture, maybe. But it can help to be better. Like you said it, Debbie, a minute ago, or Jerry. It can help people be better at trying to be a servant, trying to do what they need to do, and helping others. And I think being present, and also our presence while we're being present, is very important. It's not everything, right? But it is to some people. But if you think some people are in there and they're like, well, don't take my picture. I don't want pictures taken, which I love to take pictures. I was a photo minor in college, and I love to take pictures everywhere I go, nature especially. Yeah. But my kids, I've got some that just like, put the camera away, Mom. We want to remember this without the pictures. Yeah. I'm like, oh man, I really wanted to take pictures, But we never told my parents that, but because the phone is so instant, like you can get gratified instantly, you can delete it instantly, you can alter it. There's so many things that you can do with it. I think that's why they feel that way. And they really are afraid that people are going to post them on social media in ways they don't want to appear, which I'm not even on social media. I don't know what they would. They know that, too. I don't have Instagram. I don't have any of that stuff. So anyway,
Well, again,
I don't know what else.
No, forgive me for interrupting, but again, congrats. God bless you, for the way you've used this technology. And it's like anything else, it's in the whatever it's in the heart and the life of the person who's using it. It's like an automobile. You can use an automobile for really what it's designed to be used for, and that is to get from here to there and to do so safely and to transport people and things and all of that. Or you can be wild and crazy and reckless with an automobile. So it's the same way with a cell phone with a camera. You happen to utilize it for a very, very beautiful and noble purpose. And I know I can speak for Debbie. We're very, very happy for you. We can hear it in your voice. You were very. It's probably changed your life. So thank you.
Thanks,
It
Kim.
was good. Oh, you're welcome, and I love your show.
Oh, thank you.
We love you too. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day. Thank you, Jerry. You made me sad. You talked about taking pictures of pets. You made me sad. I came across that just adorable picture I have of Gracie, my Maltese that I lost in 2021. Do you remember we did that competition on Facebook, and the Take Two family voted that Gracie was prettier than Duke? Remember that?
I don't remember.
Actually,
that
it was
offhand,
50-50.
Okay, you voted for Gracie. I voted for Duke, right?
Exactly.
50-50?
But you made me sad. I miss her. I just miss her. That's another thing. Does anyone have pictures of their pets? I mean, I know I have a friend who has pictures of their pets all over their refrigerator. Let's hear what Dana has to say in North Texas on Guadalupe Radio Network. Hi, Dana.
Hi, it's good to get to talk with y'all again. So I just love the idea of this topic, so thank you so much for it. Sure. I prefer to have folks take a picture of me as part of the group. I'm not the queen of selfies, but my husband and I do take selfies sometimes of just places we are. There's something beautiful or fun, and we share them on our social media because I think it's good for couples to see that there are, for folks to see that there are happy marriages out there.
Mm. Oh, wow. So you're saying that you post these pictures of, to boost relationships, marriage?
Yes, because I'm a Catholic psychotherapist, and so it's good for people because even when we go to the State Fair of Texas, which is huge, if you've never been, it's incredible. We will wear T-shirts that say, I heart my awesome husband, I heart my awesome wife, and you wouldn't believe how many people stop and thank us for promoting marriage. It's throughout the whole day they do it. So people appreciate hearing about marriage, and it can be a beautiful thing, and it doesn't have to be these, unhealthy relationships all the time.
I love that. That's brilliant. I never would have thought of that because don't you kind of think if you initially when you're posting on Facebook, you're thinking, well, I don't want to post, about my relationship because then it's going to make somebody else feel bad if they don't have that relationship. I mean, how about that? No?
Well, no, I don't, put it in people's faces because I lead, couples retreats and things like that. It's just, I think people want to have hope. They want to know that that's possible because there are so many people out there, sadly, that have never been modeled that. And so they may have an okay marriage, they may have a tough marriage, but when people see a happy, just well-adjusted marriage, I mean normal, like we have our normal ups and downs like most couples, but that there's love and we actually want to do things together because so many people now, they're married, they almost live as if they're single. They do everything as separate, and so to have that cohesiveness, I think it's a really good model for folks to see.
Oh, I love that. You are so awesome. Thank you for sharing that and encouraging us because I know my husband always posts for me on my birthday and anniversary, and I do the same for him. And every time we do, we get lots of responses from people, and they'll say, wow, you have the coolest relationship. And we just say to each other, it's just kind of our normal, it's our normal relationship. So we never really think past that. So that's very interesting. What do you say to what Dana's sharing, Jerry?
No, I love it. Absolutely. Especially in the age that we're living in right now where marriage is, not understood. It's misunderstood. It's trying to be transformed and changed into things that it can't possibly be. So, yeah, we need all the reinforcement we can get, Dana, of marriage the way God intended it to be. And it's so edifying to hear how just wearing those T-shirts can elicit a response from people like that. It's a beautiful thing. We wish you all the best in that. Is anything else you wanted to add, Dana, before you go?
Well, I just was listening to the gentleman earlier that called in that was talking about, that how we used to get our film done, and we had to wait, and then it became overnight, and it was like, wow, that was very exciting. It went to 1 hour. But there's something so profound about delayed gratification, and I don't think that enough families focus on that and raise their children in that way. But in the end, that's the best outcome in life, is when people learn when they're younger how to delay gratification. And they've done, have y'all ever heard of or watched the marshmallow experiment?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it's that whole idea of like, can I wait? Because when they followed those kids, the ones that ate the marshmallow in a moment, didn't wait for the extra marshmallow, they did not do well in life. So there's something about that delayed gratification, and it would be nice to go back to the old days and not have everything just so instantaneous, because we're getting spoiled, and then that leads to a lack of gratitude.
Yeah. See, that's powerful. I knew that the Take Two family, Dana, thank you so much. We could weave it into our spiritual lives. And this is why we do topics like this, because we just feel like these conversations aren't happening that much anymore, because everybody's on a fast pace. Based on the work that you do, Dana, what do you say to that? Don't you think we need to kind of just slow everything down just a bit?
We absolutely do. I say remove some things from your calendar, because we're so busy and we're saying so yes to all these different activities in the world, but we're really not focusing on our faith as much, because it's like a busyness of faith versus like really devout and feeling it and living it. So I say remove stuff from your calendar, say no to a few things, and just slow the pace down.
Amen. No arguments here, Dana. Thank you for the great work that you do. Thanks for being part of the program again. It's great to have you rejoining us here on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. We're talking today about your philosophy, your approach to taking selfies, pictures of yourself. Do you like to do it? Do you not like to do it? Do you think it's a good thing? It can be definitely used for a good thing. Kim showed us that, but it can also be kind of a gateway to being a little bit, self-promoting, if you will, online and stuff like that. That's always a bad thing, not necessarily a sin, but we want to be careful and maintain, some degree of humility in life. So we're talking about this today, and we invite you to join in and weigh in at 833-288-3986. We will get right to Alexander in Florida here in just a moment. I want to tell you first, though, I got to get to it here, EWTN Open Line. And today is Wednesday, so your questions on church teachings and history will be answered by Father Mitch Pacwa at 3 p.m. Eastern Time right here on EWTN Radio. It's Open Line. Join that program, 3 Eastern Time.
Sounds good. Okay, Alexander, Panama City, Florida, on the iHeart Radio app. Welcome to Take Two.
Good morning. How are y'all today?
Doing well, Alexander. How are you?
I'm cold. It's for Florida. It's it's like 15 degrees with the wind chill here. But I wanted to start off with the pictures. My wife has been a news anchor forever, and I always tell her that I have a face for radio. So pictures are But the selfie thing, I think you have to be careful, because it seems like our society has become very self-absorbed, if not narcissistic. And the gentleman who was talking about the Grand Canyon, I have to agree with him when he said, the people, they're so self-absorbed with themselves, and they're not taking in God's creation of nature. Granted, we're God's creation, but they need that instant gratification, and too often they need attention. They need... And I'm just like, I try to focus on other people versus myself. Granted, we all have that tendency to want to get praised, but I was just talking to my daughter this morning about my grandson, and he got in a little bit of trouble being a 6-year-old little boy. And she said, we are raising him to lift other people, not to lift himself. And I was like, I was so proud of her when she told me that.
Wow.
But I think we are, I think we need to focus on others more than self sometimes. And, society has become so, everyone's focused on themselves. And so it's not a bad thing, to to give yourself a little pat on the back every now and then, but I think it can become an obsession.
Well, Alexander, I asked Jerry if I can comment first, and because I was wondering if anybody in the Take Two family or on social media. By the way, we're waving to everybody. If anybody was going to mention the reality TV stars, because it always happens when you talk about selfies, because they kind of did it to themselves. I mean, and like the groups like the Kardashians, for instance, they always get criticized for, I guess it's Kim Kardashian that takes like a ton of selfies, and so this idea of being self-absorbed, but then they did a story on it, and they found out that actually she's very insecure about her body, and she has issues about her different flaws that she may have on her facial features, and then they found a way to use the apps to fix it all, and they don't allow any of those pictures to go out that aren't touched up and fixed and stuff. And it's become such a machine, and so impersonal and so far away from the reality and of things, and I feel my heart breaks for people that struggle, because everybody may be critical of like the reality TV stars like them, the Kardashians, but you know what? In all honesty, my heart breaks for them, because I think if you're that attached to something like that, you're governed by it, and it controls you, and it can really make you very, very depressed. And apparently there are a lot of reality stars that are very depressed. So I don't know if either of you have been up on that, but I have watched a few shows on it. And I'm sure if Dana is still listening, she's probably nodding her head going, yep, we've heard all that as well in therapy. So what do you say to that, Alexander?
Well, I will just say that I don't have cable, and I really don't. I like reading more than I like watching TV, but I tease my wife because she's on TV. She's been for 36 years, and she has to wear makeup. And she's like, oh, I'm just trying to make myself look the best I can for God. And I tease her and say, are you saying that God didn't create you perfectly? And she just rolls her eyes at me. But my uncle put it best. He said, he's retired Air Force. I'm retired military also. And he said, hey, sometimes even an old battleship needs a coat of paint. And I said, I'm not telling her that. But, yeah, I thought it was funny too. But the point being, I understand what you're saying about the Kardashians, but it's you got to love yourself, and God made you perfect, absolutely perfect. No matter how you are perfect in God's plan. And I think we've become so self-absorbed that too many people make themselves their own God, lowercase g, and forget that God, capital G, made you perfect and loves you how you are. And we think we have to perfect ourselves where we're already perfect, and we need to live for God and live out His will for us. So,
absolutely.
Not to get too deep on it, I think we've become too self-absorbed.
I don't think you're going too deep at all, Alexander. I think you've actually probably hit on something that, we may have thought about in putting this show topic on the calendar. We were definitely hoping that, somebody like you would call in and share what you are sharing. I mean, there's nothing wrong with, a woman putting on some makeup, or a guy, doing whatever he needs to do to look a little bit better. But I think the key is what you said. We really need to just look at ourselves plain and simple, who we are, unretouched, if you will. We can Photoshop pictures, but we can also take ourselves and sort of Photoshop ourselves to look a certain way. And again, nothing wrong with that. But if it stems from, just this lack of self-love or lack of an understanding of who God created us to be, then then we get into an area where we want to be a little bit careful, I think, so.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right.
That was awesome. Thank you,
Yeah,
Alexander.
thanks, Alexander.
And thank your wife for the wonderful work she does on television as a news anchor. Jerry, that was the word I was looking for, Photoshop, to retouch those photos. That's what I was looking for. The older I get, I can't even remember what I ate for dinner last night. I got to interview Deacon Harold Burke-Sivers this morning, and guess what I found out? I'm older than him.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He goes, I think you're older than me.
On the air?
Yeah, he did. No, we had a nice chat. It was it was fine, and we were laughing, so we had a great time. But yeah, it's interesting, and I think as you get older and you somewhat mature and get spiritually more advanced, hopefully, you start to learn about these things that you just don't get too hard. You don't continue to be too hard on yourself, because I think that's tough. When we are very critical of ourselves, that can really wear us down. And that's, we see that in our life coaching ministry. And by the way, folks, we're getting a lot of inquiries on wanting life coaching. So if you want to check us out, it's at standtalltoday.com. You can get a free consultation.
I have a couple folks emailing or watching on social media, so hello there again. Joe sent in an email. Actually, he's watching on YouTube, I should say. He says, no, I don't take a lot of selfies. I don't come out very well in pictures. And if I take a picture, I take my glasses off, LOL. So Joe is weighing in on that. And Karen, Debbie, it's a very unfortunate take that she has on this. Karen, watching on Facebook, I thought about selfies in a different way after my nephew fell into a ravine trying to take a selfie. He's now paralyzed, and he's only 33 years old. Karen, we are so sorry to hear that.
That
we're going to be praying for your nephew on that. Wow.
Yes. But I've heard that before. Have you heard about that? About people who who stand on the edge of a cliff and stuff like that, and they back up and then they'll trip, and that is
so unfortunate.
Yeah, that is very dangerous. But these stories are very tragic and very sad, but we can learn from it, and that's what I think this show is all about. When we come together as the body of Christ, and we share our lived experiences, we really should. Our takeaway should be that we learn and grow from each other, and so that we can have better lives, and we can go on to go deeper in our faith. And that's what I love about Take Two. It really is a very unique platform. As a matter of fact, Jerry, getting back to Deacon Harold Burke-Sivers, we were talking about that, and he wholeheartedly agreed that Take Two is very, very unique and wonderful, and a fabulous platform for folks to come together.
No, God bless him for that. Yeah, well, a little bit of a look ahead. Just FYI, folks, tomorrow we will have a live broadcast with you. When was a time that you were stubborn and later wished you hadn't been? We know a lot of you are going to have something to say about that. And then the note that I wanted to give you, this programming note, is Friday is the March for Life in Washington, D.C. and in other places around the country. And as always, EWTN is going to have you covered with exceptional coverage of the March for Life and the different pro-life activities going on throughout this country. So we will not have a live show on Friday, but again, we will be live tomorrow. And again, the topic is, when was the time that you were stubborn, you kind of dug your heels in, later maybe you wished you hadn't done so.
That's going to be an interesting discussion tomorrow. Also, Jerry, I wanted to share with our Take Two family, please go to Jerry and Debbie Facebook page, like us there, and check out the Divine Mercy messages that we are doing this entire year. I should say our dear friend Rick Paolini is doing for us, because he is strongly devoted to Divine Mercy, and he has taught us so much over the years, and we wanted to impart it to the Take Two family. So when you click on it, it goes back to our webpage, take2show.com. You can listen to the message, meditate upon it, share it with your friends. Keep it going the whole week long, because it's always about Jesus. We trust in you.
Amen. Well, we want to thank the show team today. Ace McKay is the producer of Take Two with Jerry and Debbie, so we thank Ace for his usual great job. Today we have had Matt Gabensky on the phones, and Ace has also been wearing two fedoras, two hats today. He's been handling social media comments as well, so thank you, Matt and Ace, and all of the team at EWTN. Thank you, affiliates, for carrying the program. We love you guys. We're here to do whatever we can to support you and staying on the air, and we appreciate you keeping us on the air. So, Debbie, that's going to be a wrap for today. You hear the music, but tomorrow we are back again.
We are. And we just absolutely want to say this a million times to the Take Two family. We love you so very, very much. Until tomorrow, have a beautiful and blessed day. We ask St. Anthony the Abbot, please pray for us.
Catechism in a Year with me, Father Mike Schmitz, is now available right